Hello, teacher. In this occasion, I will talk about three movements: Age of Reason, Transcendentalism, and Realism. The first movement is Age of Reason. What is Age of Reason? The Age of Reason 1730-1860 started during the time of the American Revolution. Reason and logic were used as opposed to faith alone. People just leaving all the part of religion, also in the science, they just experience everything respective as scientific beliefs. The characteristics are man-centered work, use scientific experiments to achieve results, God a special gift to humanity's reason the ability to think in a logical way. The most representative person was Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine born on January 29 in 1737 in Norfolk, England. He was a corset maker, a grocer, a sailor, a teacher, and a tax collector. In 1774, he met to Benjamin Franklin in London. He wrote and published two pamphlets, Common Sense, 1736, and The Crisis that was inspiration of army. The second movement is Transcendentalism. What is Transcendentalism? Transcendentalism, 1840-1855, was an intellectual movement led by highly educated people. Transcendentalism were attempting to create an American aesthetic, and this is reflected in their language and tone. The characteristics are: the feelings expressed by Transcendentalism writers are intense, the ideas are serious, the reflection deep and meaningful. The most representative person was Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was born on May 25 in 1803 in Boston, Massachusetts. He was an American essayist, philosopher, lecturer, and poet. In 1836, he published a little book, Nature, that represents at least 10 years of intense study in philosophy, religion, literature, and his first series of essays. His work, Nature, collection of essays. His lecture, The American Scholars, Address Divinity College. The third movement is Realism. What is realism? Realism authors portray life in a realistic way, without sugarcoating anything because they want to write reality. Humans have some degree of free will that they can exercise to affect their situation. The characteristics are imitation of reality, humble and marginalized characters, colloquial language, man is again the center of attention, political commitment, elimination of feelings. The most representative person was Mark Twain. He was born on November 30 in 1835 in Florida, Missouri. He was a riverboat pilot, journalist, lecturer, entrepreneur, and inventor. His two major classics of American literature are The Adventure of Tom Sawyer and Adventure of Huckleberry.
My name is Milagro, and now I'm going to explain you the another three movements. First of all, we have Romanticism. Romanticism is a literary, artistic, and philosophical movement originated in the 18th century. This was characterized chiefly by a reaction against neoclassicism and an emphasis on the imagination and emotions. This marked especially in English literature. The nature of Romanticism may be approached from the primary importance of the free expression of the feelings of the artist. Romanticism was a strong belief in the interest of the importance of nature. This particularly in the effect of the nature upon the artist when he is surrounded by it tended to believe a close connection with nature and it was mentally and morality healthy. Then we have modernism. The modernism movement, a philosophical movement and an art movement that arose from a broad transformations in Western society during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The movement reflected a departure from traditional forms of art, religion, philosophy, social organization, and daily life, which artists felt had become outdated in the newly emerging industrialized world. Modernism was essentially based on a utopian vision of human life and society and a belief in progress or moving forward. And last one is the Harlem Renaissance. This movement, for me, this movement is very interesting because we can appreciate a big where the black people began to have a very big moment in the world, began to be recognized, right? Okay, the Harlem Renaissance was the development of the Harlem neighborhood in New York City, and it was a black cultural mecca in the early 20th century. This is characterized as an examination of the historical place of the contemporary African American with regards to history and the future. So, this is all for our participation. Thank you for watching, teacher.